Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, July 2025. Leo, a lot of activity in your sign. Mercury is going retrograde there. There is a new moon in July in your sign. But let's start with the other planets first. Venus is in your 11th house the whole month. 11th house is social house of friendships, of social get-togethers, or conferences, or festivals, such kind of stuff where large groups of people get together or friends get together. And Venus says here, if you go to such events, it will be pleasant, it will be enjoyable, it will be very even something good can happen. Who knows? Even love, because Venus is the planet of love or some beneficial connection. So maybe you can connect to like-minded people and have enjoyable time, not necessarily in person. Sometimes it can be through, social media. But yeah, good things are coming from there. Plus, the 11th house is the house of goals and dreams and large projects. If you're doing any large scale projects as well, they can be smooth sailing during that month in such matters. Also, it's gains, reward, salary. For some of you, if you have your own business, that can be the income of the business that is improved. It's only the duration of this month, but still good to know. Then Mars, the whole month, will be in your second house, another financial house, actually. So it's making you very active there. So you can be more proactive for thinking of projects, that can secure uh, more financial security for you. Or you can be more proactive in securing or finding new materials or different kind of, if you're using the second house, is say if you have a business, you might need some materials for it and so on. But also Mars can indicate some expenses, especially since Mars will join with the South Node, some unpaid dues, for example, that appear. And Mars joins with the South Node around the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd of July. So there might be some unexpected, let's say, expense around that time, or maybe it's because South Node means something karma from the past or some event from the past that, and it might be that to you something is being paid off as well around that time. Or also it might be that you, some object from the past or valuable that you in some way find it or procure it. But you have to be careful because it's an explosive combination. The Mars and the South Node. South Node is about losing things. Is the tail of the dragon where you excrete that you don't damage or some valuable as well. That you don't break it, but it's nothing too serious, because it's not in your sign, for example, or it can be dangerous for you or anything like that. And Mars with the South Node, because the second house is connected to the words we use around those days, because it's the mouth, the words around those days, you might be provoked to use more harsh or more critical words with the South Node. And especially if, things that have not been said need to be said out then, but try to, not to escalate it too much. I'm just warning you the worst case scenario. But otherwise, it's just Mars in the second house, more money coming in, more money going out as well, or you're arranging something in regards to finances and so on, or being more proactive there. What else? Let me think. Well, Venus, Mars, we spoke. Oh, yeah, there is a new moon in your sign on the 24th. So before the 24th of July, you might feel, because also the sun is in the 12th house with Jupiter. So for a big part of the month, let's say till the 23rd, you might feel a bit more tired. You might need a bit more time to sleep. And Jupiter will give you the opportunity with the sun in the 12th house. And you might even have in your dreams, and I'm a Leo moon, so my dreams started becoming, since Jupiter entered the 12th house from my moon, so vivid, so and good. Usually I have scary dreams. These times the dreams are more positive. They I usually dream situations that I was stuck in, that I had difficulties in. Now I find the solution in the dreams, and now I'm able to heal the situation there. So this continues for 12 months, for 11 months more for you. And in July, and the sun will be there. So it's time to kind of, especially the first 20 days of July, take it more easy, rest, escape, go to the seaside if you can. It's in Cancer, the 12th house, near water. You have a lot of intuitive insights, very intuitive this month, even though it's also social. You're not like hermits, just meditating and dreaming and getting insights. Venus in the 11th house, there is social, pleasant interactions as well. And then the sun from the 20th, 22nd, 23rd, 24th enters Leo. So you're going to start being renewed, especially the full moon is on the 23rd or 24th, depending which you are. So the very beginning of Leo, the sun and the moon meet at the first 2 degrees in Leo. So if you're 23rd of July, 24th of July born, 25th, 26th of July, even 27th of July, or if your ascendant or moon is in the first 4 or 5 degrees, 6, 7 degrees of Leo, let's even tell it first 10 degrees, the new moon is very potent and activating for you, a powerful new beginning of some sort, and it's exactly opposite Pluto. So there can be a new beginning through some crisis or through some kind of an intense emotional experience. Don't be scared. The new moon wants to bring something new that you can grow over the next months and so on. But because Pluto is opposing it, it can be triggered by some more deeper emotions in some way, or by discovering some secret, or by some deep realization. But Pluto can also make you more motivated and ambitious to follow through with those new inspirations, those new insights that come to you, because new moon is new insights in your sign, new wave of life force, and Pluto intensifies and focuses your will to act on those new inspirations, for example. So it's not necessarily negative either. But yeah, just be careful, especially the more earlier born Leos, that you don't enter some kind of a conflict, because Pluto is in the 7th house, opposing the sun and the moon in the first degrees of Leo. Even for later Leos, later born Leo, sun, moon, or rising, there can be some kind of a clash or tension around the 24th, 23rd, 24th, 25th. If you feel more emotional, you know what it is, but you also might feel provoked by another to start a new beginning in your life, provoked or challenged or inspired or pushed. I don't know, with the words with the Pluto, have to be like, there is a little bit of, or manipulated into starting something beginning, or to say, I'll show you, you'll see, you motivated me now, I'll show you. Or maybe to do something difficult through a partner, or together with a partner, who knows, it can play out like that. But this renewal comes towards the end of the month, and you're ready to shine, to follow ambitious goals, and to come out on the scene again, to be more visible. So preserve your forces till then. And by the way, Leo, you are quite, let's say, put under a lot of pressure in the last couple of months, because Mars has been in your sign in big part of May, in June, most of June, being in your sign put us, a lot of Leos, under a lot of pressure, a lot of surprises, shock. Sometimes Mars is such a planet, stresses, challenging, having to do stuff, or just being stressful sometimes. But Mars is not in your sign anymore. And the first part of July, the first 20 days, well-deserved break, resting, and Mercury is the whole month in your sign, though. And then towards the end of the month, as I said, those new beginnings and new life force comes into you. So go on the holiday till the 23rd or something like that. But Mercury will be the whole month in your sign. And then the whole August, so July and August, Mercury never stays more than 20 days in a sign, or 15 sometimes. But this time, because it will go retrograde on the 18th, and move back to the beginning of Leo, and then move back. So from around 15 degrees till 4 degrees, it goes retrograde. So this month, especially the second part, can be time when you also reconnect with people from the past. someone you haven't seen in a while, for example, because that's what Mercury's social contacts, friends. I think last year again we had Mercury retrograde in Leo. Was it July? Was it August? I think it was more towards August. Um, so things can slow down a little bit for you when things are retrograde, when there is a retrograde planet in your sign, but there is also a new moon in your sign. So yes, you'll be introspecting on some things from the past. You have to finish up some old projects, or maybe you have to change your plans. You've planned something, I'm going here, I'm doing this. Well, there'll be surprises, but they're not going to be as shocking. They're not going to be shocking or stressful. Mars is not making hard aspects. Mercury is making only pleasant aspects from Leo. So uh, you just have to be more flexible, and it can be also about traveling back to a place you've been to before Mercury retrograde. Mercury's travel or movement, or it might be about making sure you secure passwords, or making sure you're uh, finish some project, social media, writing, business project. It can be anything that requires your skills, whether it's hand skills, mental skills that you've developed, or you might be working on some project mercurial, which can be some negotiations or some documents or papers that you have to complete that you haven't completed before the second part of July and into August, or arrange something. Mercury is a manager, arranger of things. And because it's retrograde, it's either you've put it off or you didn't complete it fully, or you need to fix something, change it a little bit, or you might be working on something written, a website, a presentation, on some documents. You might be preparing some, I don't know, media project as well, marketing project. And the retrograde period is still very good for business and work. It's just that you need to do things a bit differently than you originally planned, to correct some things, or sometimes things get a bit delayed. But because there is a new moon towards the end of the month, I think there'll be also new things coming to you. So new things, you're ending some things, completing them, fixing them, getting in touch with people from the past as well. And at the same time, um, something new comes. But the whole June, July, and August, very mercurial months for you. A lot of movement, a lot of communication, socializing, and you might revise some social connections. Mercury retrograde in your sign, you might say, I don't want those people in my life. I don't think it's going to be too much drama. I mean, Leo does things dramatically, but you might think, okay, I'm not going to follow those people on social media, or I might block someone, or someone at my work pisses me off. So or some friends that you might want to change because a bit of the dynamic will have to speak out some things that you didn't speak out before. So there you go. I think the most important thing for you is this new moon in Leo and the Mercury retrograde that we talked about. But how Mercury retrogrades go normally, so you're prepared. It's not a shock. And the big event is that Uranus is moving from Taurus, where it squared Leo for the past 8 years. So definitely Leo's had some shock or big surprise sometime in the last 7, 8 years, exactly when Uranus squared the Sun, lunar ascendant, some things, Uranus squared my moon. I was moving a lot, and my hormones, female hormones, the moon, were all over the place. And now we're left alone. Unexpected things for health, for especially career, for they were left alone because Uranus moves from a sign where it squares Leo to a sign where it sextiles Leo. Now Uranus will be making supportive aspects to Leo for the next 7, 8 years. It goes for 5, 6 months now in your 11th house, but it dips back again into your 10th. Only the very last degrees Leo will feel the sudden shocks of Uranus that want to awaken us. But most a lot of problems will start going away, especially problems of uncertainty, of things being unstable, will start stabilizing. And there'll still be changes in your life for the next 8 years and new things entering, which is Uranus, but in a way that is not disruptive to you. You know, at the moment Uranus squared my moon, my daughter broke her hand. It's like moon is family, and me as a mother, Uranus squares, bam. And my hormones go all over the place because I stress. But Uranus now is leaving Leos alone, so there will be less shocks in personal life if it's your moon is in Leo, in career, if it's your sun is in Leo, or health, you know, or ascendant as well, and goes into the 11th house where it loves to be. That's the natural house of Uranus, the 11th house. It's a house that will connect you to a lot of people over the next 8 years. And you'll become a lot more social. Whether you want it or no, you'll be put in situations where you have to interact with large groups of people. Some of you might organize seminars, some of you might attend seminars or festivals, even if you're someone who never liked festivals, for example. But that's 8 years, for a long time. Uranus will awaken you to new people. You'd open your eyes and see, wow, there's so many interesting people, and the way they live is so different. And those people to introduce you to a different way of how life can be. And 11th house is benefactors. So those people, new friends, new social environment, whether online or whether in person, will introduce new opportunities to you and that make you feel more, and these will be more truthful friendships. So Uranus through the 11th house can cut off a lot of friendships from your life. It can cut off people because they just outlived their place in your life. And it happens quick. Maybe they move suddenly, maybe you have a fallout. If Uranus is making hard aspect, for example, to planets, if you have in Sagittarius or in Virgo and Pisces, you might have like a fallout with friends or your social circle, or be banned from your club, country club or whatever, or from your political party, or you might end up like, I don't want to be part of this group anymore. I supported this group. No, I don't want, like, and you join totally different groups of people that are like-minded, that are more attuned to your inner truths right now, that are more authentic for your life. So even if some people disappear in your life, and I'm not saying it's going to happen from July fully immediately. I mean, you have 8 years for this transit to unfold, but trust that the people that appear in your life will be a revelation to you, like a divine gift, and they'll open your eyes to much more possibilities in life and opportunities. And you know, and the 11th house is one of the house of gains, financial. We talked about that. That's the salary you receive or the money of the business you make, the turnover. Well, Uranus can suddenly shake things up there and allow you to be independent with such stuff, you know. But also it can make it like, if you're used to consistent salary, it can feel stressful because Uranus in the 11th is much more likely to do better with like commission based or like a freelance or in an inconsistent basis, for example. But also it can suddenly rise a lot of your income, especially if Uranus is, say, you have planets in Leo or in Sagittarius or in Libra or in Aquarius or Aries. Uranus is making sextiles and trines. And of course, in my webinar for Uranus in Gemini, I show you how to see where all your planets are, what degrees they are, what aspect Uranus will make to them. And I speak about each aspect. Say Uranus square your Venus, Uranus sextile your Saturn, Uranus opposition your Jupiter. And I give you real life stories and examples what happened. And because it's in your 11th house, all those changes that are happening in other areas of your life, the ultimate goal is to for you to discover your tribe, the 11th house, that with more authentic people. And the ultimate goal is also maybe to liberate you financially in some way of gains and to increase your gainfulness. And you can be gainful through Uranian means as well. It might be through AI. It might be through Uranian things like esoteric knowledge, like astrology. It might be through social media. Uranus rules all of those media, internet, technological or esoteric subjects as well, or friends that are of this nature, Uranian. They're out there, or collaborations even, friends that are out there, friends that are very unusual or that are ahead of their time, visionaries. Plus, you might be called in some way, Leo, to have a socially important role. Somehow, over the next 8 years, that large groups of people hear you. 11th house is the house of reaching many people, becoming part of an organism and reaching people. And you as a Leo, you're a natural leader. And don't forget that the Neptune-Saturn conjunction, which determines the next 35 years, is happening in July and in February 2026 in your ninth house. Ninth house is a house of leadership and vision, of a teacher, of a guide. You might be called to a new mission, some of you, as a visionary, as a leader, or as a to bring knowledge to others. Ninth house is the house of knowledge, to teach, to guide. And that will reach large groups of people, for example, foreign audience, the ninth house. Or you might have to be part of some large project. The 11th house is large, big projects that involve more people. That might be technological, something new. Uranus is something new, something very cutting edge that will reach large groups of people, that is tied in deeply with your ideologies and beliefs about the future. And Uranus in the 11th house gives you exclusively access to the pulse of society. What is trending? What is cool? You'd feel it intuitively. What is needed by society? So that's very good for business. If you're an inventor, if you're a businessman, the ideas, what exactly does need society? You'd have a vision for it. With Uranus in the 11th house is society trends. Uranus there is like fully in tune. What do you have to study? What do you have to do? What is going to be gainful? What is going to be popular? Or to have to expand and suddenly grow following, or you access to the whole world and to others. So to get involved in some projects that involve a lot of other people somehow. But I speak a lot more about that in my webinar. It's only $20, 5 hours of all the transits, all of Uranus, through all the houses. I tell a lot of interesting stories. And if you want, there is a link below. You can use it for all Uranus transits in your life. Thank you, Leo. Exciting times, rejuvenation towards the end of the month. Uranus in your 11th house, Saturn, Neptune in your 10th house with a new mission for your life as well that I spoke more about in the previous month videos. So thank you.